was delayed. I am showing that we are streaming live through our tool, so it says we are.
Who's the tool?
XSplit. There we go. The ad just kicked on, so it's just delayed. So,
You ain't
but
gonna see nothing until the ad man gets his money.
so we'll give it a few minutes. Hopefully, everybody can hear us. But
Yeah, I
let's.
see it now.
Yeah, it's just delayed. All right, so welcome. Listen to us live every Sunday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Pacific Time. So, Rob,
Yes,
why
sir.
don't you tell us what you've been playing?
Okay, I've been playing some more Tomb Raider, Rise of the Tomb Raider. Definitely love that game. I've been playing. Uh, I don't know if it's a good game, but it's a game called The New Dashboard. It's moving in the right direction at least.
Oh,
I guess. At least stuff in the store looks better now. Because before, I don't know if you were getting this, but it was almost like I had the screen was actually maybe like 10 times bigger, but I could only see into like a little window of it.
oh yeah.
So as you scroll, like if you're scrolling down a window, you hit like down, down, and then finally you see the white rectangle that you hit down, you see it, then it goes off the screen, and then it scrolls your screen. So it's like you only saw like the center of a grid. But anyway,
Weird.
yeah, it's I think we got a couple updates, at least two updates in the last week.
Yeah,
So it's making some headway.
it's still weird. Like you can go in to buy a game, and it doesn't bring up the option to buy. You have to sit there on that page for a, I would say at least 60 seconds. I think it used to be a while back. It would take about 4 to 5 minutes,
Hmm.
and you just had to stay on the screen. You couldn't go do anything else. You had to sit there, and then all of a sudden, boom! It would pop up with the box to buy. It would finally appear. So I went to get something the other day, and I was looking at the page, and I'm like, oh, they still haven't fixed this. And I'm like, well, I guess I'll sit here. And I think it took about a minute, and then it popped up. So
Right.
it was definitely a lot faster than before. So hopefully that improves. I mean, the buy button should be there the moment you go there.
Oh yeah. Oh,
So
I had something unexpected happen the other day because I was on the Windows store, like no, not the Windows store. I was in the Xbox store in a browser, and that was the day that they had all the Dead Island stuff on sale. Did that start on Tuesday? Something like that. I think probably did. Anyway,
I think that was a couple weeks ago, wasn't it?
no, it was this past week. So
Okay.
they had a whole bunch of the Dead Island games on sale, deep discounts. And I went to I think it was the original Dead Island. So I was looking at it, and I know that some of them show you the price when you click on them. Because, like, if you're gold, you can actually. Do you hear anything in the background? By the way,
Uh,
no.
I did for a second.
Yeah. Here.
You got
h- h-
sirens going off.
yeah. Hang on a second.
All right. Okay. So hopefully Rob's not gonna get nailed by a tornado or anything. Hopefully he's safe. So he's back with an
All
update.
right, I'm back.
Not a tornado or anything like that.
No.
Okay.
So,
Not your Xbox overheating.
no.
You didn't put a spoon in the microwave.
Yeah. So, anyway, so you know how you click on some of those things and it shows you the gold discount.
Yes.
So I just hit buy now, and I was expecting to see the pop-up window with how much it shows, and you confirm the sale, but boom, it was done. It was sold. I was like, what? Totally unexpected. Thankfully, it was only $3. And now I got a digital copy of Dead Island. All right.
One thing I noticed that I did buy something the other day, which I'll talk about in a minute. And when I bought it, it actually showed that the sale, like how much time left the game is on sale.
Oh,
Which I'm like,
really?
hey, that's kind of cool. It'll show the sale price, and then it tells you right next to it how many days
Where was
left or
that?
like how many hours in
Was
the
that in the
store.
browser?
in
or
the
in the
Xbox store on the console.
on the Xbox? Okay.
Yeah. So I'm like, that's kind of neat. That's something new that they've added.
Oh yeah, yeah. And I've also noticed that they have when you pull up a game, it has like a series of icons down at the bottom. One of which is the one that looks like it's the Play Anywhere. You know, it
Oh yeah, I feel like
but
if it runs
it's
on Windows and Xbox and
yeah,
whatnot.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, you can definitely see that they're putting that infrastructure into place to to facilitate all of that Play Anywhere and stuff, everything they talked about. I mean, it's coming. It's partially here already.
Well,
But
Stricken Thought wants to play Dead Island with you,
yeah, all right.
so you need to get online sometime.
Yes, sometime.
So,
But yeah, so did that, and then also actually last night I got kind of curious as to what the costume quest was. I think that's the name of the game, and started that up. Man, that's a long beginning to that game.
oh yeah,
Like 20 minutes into it, you're really even not playing it
yeah.
yet.
I
So
think I would lose interest.
yeah, but there was that, and I think that's about it. That's all the stuff that really comes to mind right now. How about you? What have you been playing?
Oh, I've been busy. I did get a little Overwatch in. Also played some Rainbow Six Siege. I've been playing the defend mode. I need like 20 more rounds of defend to get an achievement, and it's fun. I like T Hunt. I also picked up a game for I think it was $5. I picked up Pac-Man 256. I guess this was a mobile game on Android or somewhere. I don't know, but I guess it was a mobile game that has been ported over to the Xbox One. And I gotta say, I put a lot of time into it. It's fun. It's really cool.
Really?
It's weird. The premise: you get one life. That's it. That's it. When you die, you're over. You got to start over. There's so you try and basically kind of going for score, and there's no. At least I've not found a way to get an extra guy, but you yet, and I don't believe it's in there. But so the premise is that there's like a glitch in the game, so the board starts to be eaten up at the bottom, like an in-game glitch, or like you remember those like crash screens back in the day in the old arcades. So it kind of resembles something like that, but it's working its way up the board, and the Pac-Man board just continues to go. So as long as you keep going up, it just keeps going and changing shapes and stuff, so you can keep going. But if you stay too long in a certain area, the glitch starts climbing back up the board.
Okay.
There's also a ton of ghosts in the board, but they also have power ups. So, like, you can run your Pac Man, you got the regular power pill that will turn them blue, and then you can chomp on them. But there's stuff like you can hit this one that launches a tornado and it runs around the map, killing the ghosts. You can pick up a laser. And then there's what is there lasers, there's a stealth one, there's tornadoes, there's freezing them, there's fire, there's a whole ton of power ups, right? And then on top of it, you can go in and upgrade these power ups so like they last longer. So as you get points, as you're eating the pellets, the dots, then at the end you get like you level up and then you get these little coins that you can use to buy the upgrades. um, and it's fun. It's a quick game. It's one of these just like I'm gonna sit down. I just want to play something for a few minutes, and an hour later you're still playing. It's one of
Right.
those type of games. It's a lot of fun. It was only $5. So I really was surprised by it. I enjoy sitting down and still playing Pac-Man. Also, I played. So the one I was telling you that I got on a sale and it showed the date, how much time
Right.
left in the sale.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
picked up Plants vs Zombies Garden Warfare 2.
Hmm.
The standard game is on sale right now, I think for another 2 days, for $30, or you can get the deluxe digital version for $35. So I went for the
Yeah.
deluxe. Um,
Yeah. $5 more.
five
That's it.
bucks more, yeah. And I really liked Plants vs Zombies, the first game,
Sure.
and I really kind of wanted to get this one, but it was like, well, I don't remember. I think when it came out, there was other stuff going on. I was playing, so I'm like, well, let me just maybe fiscally minded. And so that when I saw it just the other day for $35, man, I pulled the trigger on it, and I've been playing it all weekend. My kids have been watching. It's really cool. It is a much improved update to the original game. So if you liked Plants vs Zombies Garden Warfare, but maybe were turned off, if you liked it and you didn't get this one, you need to get this one. This one is so much better.
Right.
Um, I haven't even gotten into the multiplayer at all. I This game has their single player campaign
Oh, cool.
mode. It's more of like an open world. You're just kind of in an open world, um, and you're running around, and there's all these things you can go to do tasks. So you can go up to this kiosk and go in and do multiplayer. You can run around this open world and just kill zombies, or if you're a zombie, kill plants in this, and you get XP. So you're leveling up your guy and all this stuff while you're just kind of running around, not really doing anything. And it's interesting. It's like there's a big neighborhood. The zombies are on one side, there's plants on the other, and there's this no man's zone in the middle. And what I've been doing, what I really enjoyed, was I discovered that you can run around this open world, and there's these like missions. And so like I we found my youngest son, he's 9. He thought this was so cool, and he was telling me today go find him. We found hot rod chicken. So it's this chicken in the back of this burned out car, like out of a trunk, and he'll give you a mission. And these guys and these different people you find will give you like 3 missions to go do. And when you do it, every time you do it, you get coins, which help you buy the sticker packs to give you the consumables and stuff that you can use in the game. And then you get a reward after you do all 3 little missions. So it's like these little side quests you can do, and they're fun to do. Then there's also in the middle of this no man's land, you can run up to this flagpole and put the flag up, and then you try to defend it as long as you can. Now, I've gone and they got a couple planters, so you can plant your consumables, like your pea shooters and your healing flowers and stuff like that. And the same, if you're a zombie, you can run up there and do the same thing, and then you're just battling the plants, and they just do wave after wave. It's like this horde mode thing, and you're ranking up. You get ranked up for every kill you get, and so it's a lot of fun. And I don't know if there's an end to it because today I got to the boss level. So they send out waves of like engineers, and then you defeat them, and you get a bunch of money for it. And they're like, okay, well the scientists are next, and then the soldiers, and the all stars, and I got to a boss level and I got annihilated. But it's cool because as you're going along, you'll get every so often you get a reinforcement crate will drop, and you run over there. Now you have to leave the flag circle, so your flag is, and you got a thing at the top, and you can see it dropping. So if the zombies or the enemy is inside that circle, and you don't have any reinforcements fighting them, then you got to decide that, can I get to the box quick enough to destroy the box so my reinforcement, which is another AI character, will join you and fight with you, or not. But if you can't get there and back quick enough, then you'll end up losing because the flag will come down. So it's really cool. It's a lot of fun. Um, and I've been playing through the campaign on the plant side, and it's been a lot of fun so far. Lot to do. So I highly recommend it. Like I said, $35 for the digital or the deluxe version. I just don't think you can go wrong. So grab it while you guys can if you're interested. But other than that, that's what I've been playing this week.
Hey, you just reminded me of a game that I saw that's it's kind of a convert from a lot of those mobile games as well.
Uh huh.
I don't remember the name of it, but it's the one that you land airplanes at airports.
Oh yes. Um.
Just, I
Yes,
forgot
I
the
looked at that, and yeah, I used to play that on the iPhone all the time.
yeah.
Dude, I don't know
I
how they would
love
transition. I don't.
that's
It
yeah,
looks like you click and then you move your stick like you got an arrow how you want the plane to land, and
yeah.
with your finger, it's like you just drew a line, and it was
Right,
so
right.
easy. I think that'd be so hard with a controller.
Well, not just that, but it was like 13.99.
I
That's
didn't even see that.
that's so expensive. I mean, for that kind of game where we're used to playing it for free or almost free on mobile, to play it on Xbox One, granted, maybe the graphics are a little bit better, but it doesn't need them. And
The
that's
game
so expensive.
Land It, right?
Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Stricken thought so.
Man,
Land So
I was so intrigued by that, but I saw that price and thought about like how's this gonna play? It can't play well.
yeah, I that's
But
what when I saw that it reminded me of the iPhone version, which is a blast. And I think it's a different name. It doesn't I don't.
yeah, there's a whole bunch of them.
But the one I used to play on the iPhone was a blast, and it got really hard. But you just use your finger to draw on the screen, and that was easy to do. And I was like, how are they going to do this on the console? So I went and I was looking at one of the little trailers that they had, and I was like, you'd see the little thing, and then like the line was shifting, and I'm like, oh no way, dude, I'm not messing with this. So I didn't even get into the. I got you got to sit there on the screen
Yeah.
for 5 minutes before the buy option pops up. So
Oh yeah.
I guess I didn't see it. So, but
That's actually helping us out. It's like a deterrent.
yeah,
Impulse deterrent.
I don't think Microsoft intended that though.
No.
I think they like those impulse buys.
Yes. They want to make it like how I bought Dead Island.
Yeah,
So
what?
how
That's
much
probably
is
why
this
that
gonna be?
timer's there,
Right?
dude. You know when
Completed?
it's going to be in bold letters and there's going to be a countdown clock. Buy now. It expires in 5, 4, 3. Buy now.
Yeah.
Or they'll start doing Xbox Live messages to you. Hey, this sale is ending in 5 minutes.
Yes.
They better not.
It's funny.
But
It's funny.
cool stuff.
Yes.
All right. So if you guys wish, you can support us on Patreon. You can become a patron of the show. Just go to patreon.com/this Xbox Life. This is a donation that you make to us every month automatically. You put in a debit or credit card and just tell them whatever. It can be $1. It can be $100. Whatever you want to donate every month. They will just automatically take it out of your account for you every month. Also, if you don't want to do that, you like to do a one-time donation, you can support us by going to twitchalerts.com/donate/this Xbox Life. And this is a one-time only donation, again, of your choosing. And if you do that, your name gets scrolled across the bottom like Naughtius. Thank you, Naughtius. We got a $5 donation from you last week and appreciate that. Again, like Bron says, they're not expected, but they are appreciated. All right, so now we can go into the round table.
Woohoo.
So, Rob, this first one, I was looking. It's pretty weak. There's not a lot to talk about. Post E3, we're kind of in that dead zone time. There's not a lot out there, but one thing I thought people might be interested to hear about was some more games, Xbox 360 games, have been added to the Xbox One backward compatibility program. In fact, I saw one pop up on my ready to install list. So we've got Blood Knights, Comic Jumper, Crystal Quest, Dungeons and Dragons, Chronicles of Mysteria, Fallout New Vegas, I Am Alive, which is the one that popped up for me because I had bought that, Joe Danger Special Edition, and Red Faction Battlegrounds. So if you have any of those, if you bought any of those on your 360, or if you have the retail disc, you can put them in and play them on your Xbox One. It was interesting. I was like, I Am Alive. Rob, that's the game, if I recall right, that you and I were excited about because it originally was taking place in Chicago.
Yes.
And then I think by the time the game released, it was very different from what they initially showed. But I still
Yes.
bought it anyway. So
Wasn't it the game that was done by American McGee or something like that?
no, I don't. I don't think so. I think this was an Ubisoft title.
Oh no, I was thinking of it was something LA that he was doing.
Okay.
I don't think that ever released. But with this backwards compatibility list of titles that they've got, I was really surprised at how big it is.
There,
There's so many games now.
there's I think officially over 200 now.
Yeah. So I just pasted it into Notepad to count it. 210.
Wow. That's pretty cool, and they're still
Yeah.
continuing to give more. I mean, they're still doing it. So, which is awesome because it goes in and here's what I would love to see. I don't think they're gonna do it, but Phil Spencer said he would like it to happen. the original Xbox library
Yeah.
coming over and being playable on Xbox One platform.
Yeah, there are some good games, but my concern is those games like really suck in comparison. It's just like the graphics aren't there.
Yeah, but it would still be neat to be able to go and play it, because the thing is a
Yeah,
lot of us would buy a lot of those games just to have them, whether we played them or not. We would buy them just to get them. You
just
know,
just get Rare Replay.
no, but there's yeah. I
that,
mean,
that
but it
just
would be
get
nice to expand.
just get Rare Replay and play some of those old Xbox titles. It'll just annihilate that nostalgia factor altogether. They don't have to go through the effort. You'll just start the games and go, man, this is brutal.
So,
Let me go play Tomb Raider.
yeah, but still to have it there. And again, but I
No,
think it's
yeah.
neat that they're continuing to do this, because when they come out and announce stuff like that, a lot of times they'll throw a few out and then they're like, "Oh, let's just move on." It was like an E3 announcement. We got some news off of it, but they're still doing it.
Yep, yep.
That's what I like. They're still putting whatever they're doing in the back end to make it work. I don't know if it's very costly, but they have to do obviously some kind of work to be able to put that in and make it available for us. So
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
I'm glad to see that they're continuing it. How long has this been going on? Over a year, right? Did they announce it last E3, right?
Mm, or was it the year before? No, no, I think it was last year. You're right. Because
So
didn't it start in November? Because last year they had the preview program going.
yeah, I can't remember, but if it's only been a year, then they've done over 210 games in that amount of
It's a
time.
lot.
That's pretty awesome.
Oh, wait.
I think it's been 2 years. It's had to
No, no.
have.
So they added games starting on a regular basis in December 2015.
Because they were going to have 100 out by the end of the first year when they announced it at E3. I think they said they had to have 100 or something by Christmas
Something
time.
like that. Yeah.
So, but yeah, now we're at 210. So it's nice to see them being pumped out at a quick pace. So,
Oh, yeah.
and again, if you guys, if you're hearing this and you're like, man, I wish a game I wanted on 360, it's not there. They've got there's a backward compatibility page. I think it might be the user feedback page and I think there's a link off of that for backward compatibility. But you can go in there and see what games people are requesting, and you can vote them up. You can add a vote, add your voice to, I want this game. I think Red Dead Redemption is like the number one on the list. So, but definitely go out there if you've got a game that you want backwards compatible. Make your voice heard, and they and you might even find out that it's already in the works, because they'll tell you on there already being worked on or already done and stuff like that. So, all right.
Okay. Yep.
So I want to skip this one because I want to save this E3 discussion for the end. But did you hear the story about Microsoft trying to partner with Nintendo and Sony before they made the original Xbox?
Yeah, I recall hearing something like this years ago when we've heard like those whole, history of the Xbox, how it got created and such. So I could swear this is like not brand new news.
I thought they were. Well, I know they what? Didn't they partner with Sega on the Dreamcast because you could run Windows CE
Yeah.
on there?
Well, I don't know if it was partnered, but Windows was the OS
For the
or
okay.
Windows CE.
What is greatness?
Oh, whoa, sorry.
Whoops.
I just
It
pulled a
is
brun.
great. Yeah. Nice job.
So, my apologies.
Now
What
I have
happened?
to edit that
Sorry.
or kill everybody's ears.
All right, we'll have to look for it. Get your time
Yeah.
hack. Probably about 30 minutes in.
Yeah.
Let's see. So yeah, before they began on the first, I guess they went to Nintendo first. They sat down with Iwata and others and said, "This is what we want to do. Could we partner? Could we work on this together?" And basically, Nintendo said no. Ed Fries had went on to note that Microsoft offered to handle the software and networking side of the things, while Nintendo would be in charge of the hardware, and they could team up to release a product, but the company wasn't interested. So then they went and basically made the same pitch to Sony, and Sony said no. So it's interesting. It's interesting for me to think of what you know, what if they had partnered with one of those two? We wouldn't even have the Xbox today.
Well, yeah, it's a good point. I mean, would we have had a better product or lesser? Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, we could all be playing PlayStations right now with with
PlayStation.
Windows 10, running Windows 10.
No, maybe we'd still be on PS2 with
Or
no competition.
yeah, well, you just still have Nintendo, but
Like I said, we'd have
with no
PS2 with no
competition.
competition.
Oh, poor Nintendo. But that's interesting. It
Yeah,
seems that I'm kind of curious what Microsoft want. Do they completely want to control the software side of it? 'Cause that's what it
you
sounds
know,
like.
well, when I hear this, I mean, it's gotta it must have been in the mid '90s, late '90s, because when did the original one come out? Was that like 2001? The original Xbox,
Gonna make me
2001,
do a wiki.
2002 ish, something like that.
Time to
Anyway,
wiki.
but
Time to wiki search.
yeah, so they must have been. Well, so you figure that development time was maybe 2 to 3 years. So it would have been late '90s. So they must have tried to do these discussions like late '90s,
November
maybe
15th,
'97. What?
2001.
Okay. So I imagine it was maybe like '97 ish or so.
Right.
At that time, so Sony had the PS1 because I think that came out in '95, and sales were really strong. It was a whole different world back then. They had the PS1. There was, I think Jaguar was out around the same time, 3DO, um, Sega Saturn,
Yeah.
all those different machines. Super NES, maybe, or I don't know if the Nintendo 64 was out at that time, but all those consoles were really successful. They all had their niches or niches. And at that point, I could see like, why would we want to partner with you? We've got our thing going on and it's awesome. That would be my take. It's sort of like, the company that wants to partner has got to be the one that's in trouble.
Yeah, I think Nintendo, well, 2001.
You
They
figure at
they were
least
still
3 years apart.
back then. I mean, they were still probably king of the hill. So it was probably a stretch for them to get.
Well, King of Mobile for sure, or
Well,
with the Game
we're
Boy.
talking 14 years ago.
Yeah.
So what is that? Before the PS2? When did the PS2? Let me look that up. Let's see when the PS2 came out. That came out in 2000, March of 2000. So prior to that, you had the PS1, and I don't know what Nintendo would be at that point, but
Wait, which one came out in 2000?
March 4th, 2000 was the PlayStation 2.
Okay, so yeah,
And
when Microsoft talked to him, they were probably developing the PS2.
the N64 was released in 1996.
Okay.
So I don't know what came after that. Was it the Wii? Did the
Oh,
Wii come after the 64? Or was there something else in between?
well, let's look it up.
Because
Nintendo 64,
2006 was the
GameCube,
Wii.
GameCube,
Oh, GameCube, that's right.
and
So
that came out. Oh, when did you come out?
that came out in 2001. So you got your PS2 out in early 2000, your GameCube in 2001. The
And
Xbox came
Dreamcast,
out in 2001. So they were
and
talking.
Dreamcast came out right around there too.
So they would want to partner. I would guess they would. They might have been. Maybe Microsoft was just trying because they partnered with Sega and got in there on the OS. Maybe that's what they were trying to do. They just wanted to probably be the OS because I mean back then that's all they did was Windows and Office, right? I mean they weren't the
Right.
Microsoft they are today. So
No.
they probably were just trying to be the OS for all these consoles, or at least get in on one. Yeah, but you know what? I kind of like the fact that we have the box as it is today. I'm kind of glad they didn't get partnered because I mean, think about all the things. I mean, Microsoft makes a lot of hardware now. They really do. They make Surface tablets. They're out of the phone and the Zune business, unfortunately, but their Zune players were great.
Yeah.
I actually liked the Windows phone I had. I had a Lumia 950, which I really liked. It just had a particular bad problem that impacted my ability to use it. But I actually liked the phone. The hardware, they make good hardware. I know we can look at the 360, but they fixed
Mm.
it and corrected it and stood by it. So they at least took care of their customers. But they make. I like their keyboards and their mice. They make good
Oh yeah.
quality stuff. And the Surface tablets are like primo. They're just so it's interesting. Had they done this, I mean, I think the Xbox was really. I'd have to do a little bit more research, but I believe maybe outside of mice and keyboard, that was really their very first piece of hardware. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
and now look where they're at. They make a lot of things, and that's pretty cool.
Oh, absolutely.
So maybe we wouldn't have all that if it wasn't for the original Xbox. If it wasn't for Sony and Nintendo saying no, go away, we might be in a very different world with Microsoft today.
Oh, agree. I totally agree.
All right. So now that we've gotten a little historical on everybody, real quick, I got one other thing, and then Rob's got something. We'll talk about our E3 thing. There's going to be so we talked about Mass Effect Andromeda coming out. We saw that at E3, or a very little bit of it, a lot less than I wanted to see. But there's going to be a new book series coming out that is going to connect the original Mass Effect trilogy to the Andromeda trilogy. So for those that really like the story and like reading video game books, you can look for that to be come forth to wrap those two together. Now the next news, Rob, this is all you, and
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to say real quick, everybody, pay attention, okay? Pay attention because I was like, "Oh, you're wrong, Rob. There's no way. It's too good to be true." I was throwing stuff at him, and he just kept shooting me down. Nope, nope, nope. This is a heck of a deal. What do they get? What can we get, Rob?
Yeah. So we know the new consoles are coming out. We got Xbox One S coming. Wow, probably within the next 8 weeks or so. And we got Scorpio, whatever that winds up being. That's going to be out in a year and a half. So, what happens to the current consoles? What happens to the original Xbox? Whether it's the regular Kinect, whatever special flavor of it is. What's going to happen with those consoles? Well, two things. Number one, the price is going to drop immensely. And two, they're eventually going to go away and be replaced by the Xbox One S. However, if you don't have a 4K TV and you're not going to be getting one anytime soon, if you need, let's say, a cheap Xbox coming up anytime soon, for either for a second or a replacement or as a gift to somebody, uh, now might be a really good time to jump on something because there's a deal on eBay right now for a 500 gig Connect bundle, which includes Dance Central's Sports Rivals and Zoo Tycoon. You know, the games are what they are.
Yeah,
There's three of them.
that's not the big deal here. That's not the
Yeah,
draw.
and the price on it right now is $230 with free shipping. That's crazy. That's a Connect bundle. Connect,
you,
brand new,
you
500 gig console.
you said it's eBay.
Yeah,
I thought you said earlier it was Newegg,
no, no.
or that was the other
That
one
was
that had a coupon that was like
that
two
was
fifty.
yeah, that was my mistake.
Okay, so eBay, but
Yeah,
it's brand new in the box.
brand new. It's being sold by a Microsoft authorized partner, which means that it has full warranty. That's one thing you have to watch out sometimes by buying online because if somebody's selling it and they're not authorized, you actually don't get a warranty. So with this, you do get a warranty. So yeah, the vendor that's selling it is called Ant Online, and that's just amazing. I mean, $230 already for a Connect. Those are like almost $400.
Yeah, and I mean, even right now, you buy one from the Microsoft store, on Xbox.com, they're listing it for $279, and that does not include a Kinect.
Yeah.
So, which I don't know if a Kinect is that important. If you don't have one now, you're not going to miss it. I did unplug mine because the voice commands basically have broken my whole use of it. But then I realized that I've got this little remote to turn off my Xbox. Well, now I got to find the TV remote to turn the TV off. So I ended up hooking the Xbox Kinect back in just so when I use the remote to turn the Xbox off, it will turn my TV off as well. I still got this stupid thing hooked up. Maybe they'll fix the voice commands, but
Yeah.
yeah, that's a crazy deal. So if you want a second one, or for the kids, or you just not you don't have the 4K TVs like you said, man, grab one. That's a great price.
Yeah. I mean, other than that new controller and 4K HDR support, well, plus size too, maybe. There's really not that much of a benefit for the
Yeah.
Xbox One S. I mean, they play the same games,
Yep.
absolutely the same,
Cool. Well, thanks,
and
Rob.
we can guarantee that this Xbox One S will not be $230.
Yeah, not for
It
a
will
while.
not. Yeah.
So,
Alrighty.
oh, anything else?
No, no, nope.
Okay, so I forgot to put in here. I wanted to just mention, and I wanted to see if I could find out some information. So you see our background. It says the Division Year One, and let me stop this autoplay video. I had autoplay turned off on IGN. It looks like they turned it back on. So the Division has their first piece of DLC coming out. It's called Underground. This is coming out. Was it June 28th? That's this Tuesday. I've not been able to find really. I could dig a little further, but I haven't really seen anything specific outside of what was at E3 on what's contained in it. It looks like it's going to be a new mission, and um, I'm going to see if I can find some more information here while we continue to talk. But as I was looking for specifically like what's contained outside of just some possible new weapons, let's see if they talk about it here. So Ubisoft Massive has got so they give Zip some more details.
Here I have 1893 for the makers of Pepsi Cola.
Forget it. Stupid video ads.
Is that IGN?
No, that wasn't. So we'll just leave it at that. But I do know there's some. I can't. I only saw the thing once on E3. I saw briefly their trailer of the Underground, so I don't know a whole lot of what it entails. But this is the first piece of the. It's an expansion, so. My understanding is we go down under the ground, so you're going to probably be in the sewers, is what I'm imagining and understand it to be. I would expect we're going to get some new weapons and maybe new gear. I don't know if there's a new gear set. I can't remember if they said there was a new gear set, but look for that this week. So I'm looking forward to it. And I've last time I played after the last update, I still have not done the new incursion, which I would like to do. But I think I still need to get some higher gear score. I think I'm sitting at like 205. But if anyone out there wants to go do the latest incursion with me, hit me up. And definitely, if you're going to be doing the Underground on Tuesday, I will be online. So hit me up as well. And then we've got the summertime. So it's kind of funny how they list, if you look at, if for those on the Twitch, you can see the picture of the DLC. They've got 3 of them planned. One's in the winter, one's in the summer, and one's in June. Well, we're in June, and it is officially summer. So I don't know when their survival mode's coming out, but probably August, September would be my guess. We'll get the survival mode. So, but look for that Tuesday, Division Underground. Okay, and then the last thing I wanted to bring up was E3 was different this year. I don't know if you noticed it, Rob, but Activision, Electronic Arts, and in a big way, Nintendo weren't a presence at E3 this year. Nintendo did have they didn't have a press conference. They did some kind of TV show where they showed off um, the new Link game, Zelda, Legend of Zelda, and they spent a lot of time on Pokemon, and that was basically it. It was like you were watching this TV show, and I think they called it the Nintendo Treehouse, if I recall. So they really didn't have, they didn't have a stage show. Electronic Arts did, but they were not part of E3. They did something. Was it on Sunday afternoon or Saturday night? They did it before Monday. Um, they did their like presentation, if I recall, but it was offsite. It was not tied into them. They weren't. I was reading an article about it where people that are used to seeing the South Hall just filled. It was like barren, and they're just like it wasn't filled like it's been in the past because Activision and EA were not there. They weren't on site. They weren't. They didn't put the booths up and do all this type of stuff. And I can see, and I've heard other stories about like the people that are running E3, that some of these publishers are not happy with the way it's being run and handled, and looks like people are starting to jump ship. Do you think E3 2017 could see even more people detracting from it and making that show even smaller?
It's very possible. You know, I think a lot really has to do with what the companies have to offer and if there's a return on investment. Because I can't even imagine the cost of putting that stuff on. Like just the Microsoft E3 conference, that must have been multi-million
Yeah,
just for that 90 minutes, right?
I don't know. I mean, that's the thing. I don't know if they. I'm sure Microsoft. I don't know. Did they pay to be at the conference? I mean, whether they pay for
Yeah.
the hall or whether it's the what is it, the Entertainment Expo, who whoever it is, whatever that group that runs E3. I got a brain fart at the moment. I can't think of that name, but that group that manages that. So even if they do all that, the stuff to ship the equipment in, to get the people there to work all those hours and setting up and building sets and buying, you got to build that. It costs a lot of money to make stuff, and the lighting and all, planning all this stuff out. And it's not like they walk out there that day and go, oh, hey, here's this. These guys are planning and prepping and going through dry runs of these shows, in advance. And there's just so much involved. And yeah, and that's not the only show they do. They do Gamescom, and some of these companies like Sony and Nintendo do the Tokyo Game Show, and there's Microsoft does Build, and there's just so many different. There's PAX, and you know where if these guys are doing shows every other month, that's a lot of money out the door.
So, Engadget had this write up from 2013 on a small studio that got some space at E3. So they got 600 square feet, which is nothing. It's like
Right.
a studio apartment almost. So 600 square feet costs $30,000
Wow.
for the time of the show. But then when you factor in all of the other costs, it basically more than triples it. So this company spent $100,000 to just have a small presence there. And companies like EA and Activision and such, they have massive, massive, massive booths
Oh yeah.
because they devote more than 600 square feet to up one game.
Right. They'll have like whole theaters. I mean, some of these you going into an actual like a movie theater style thing where they showing you behind doors trailers, or they
Yeah.
got all these game booths set up to play games and stuff. And yeah, it's like going into a theme park.
Oh yeah.
Getting on a ride, standing in line. I mean, some of these things the lines will take up more than 600 square feet.
Yeah.
So
So
yeah.
they said, yeah, 30,000 for the space, they had a local guy build their setup so they didn't have to truck it around. So they paid 30 grand for that. Um, then it was 15,000 to the managing company, GES, 8 grand in finishing costs, whatever that is. And then um, there's some $10,000 charges. And I know for some of those places you have to pay for like electricity and wire, the
Yeah.
internet connections and stuff all separate if you have to have those there.
And then you usually
Yeah.
got to pay to have all the people run all that stuff because
Yep. Yep.
I remember I did when I was still living in Chicago there a couple of times. I had to go down to the putting on some stuff for the company I worked for, going into some of these convention halls, and like it's like, dude, there's an outlet right there. Let me just plug in. Nope, nope, you can't do it. You had to call in the union guy to plug in your equipment. I was not allowed. I would be breaking the law. We get massive fines if I plugged something in. It was ridiculous because like you couldn't get nothing done.
Yep.
You couldn't plug in a router or plug in nothing. You couldn't do anything without waiting for somebody. And then you're trying to find someone to call somebody to get someone over to where you're at. It's just ridiculous. So, and yeah, everything they got to pay for everything. So
Yep.
it's insane. I can't imagine the cost that Microsoft paid just for E3, and not even counting all their other conferences that they deal with.
Yeah.
So
How many Xbox Ones did they have to sell just to pay for that?
it probably a lot more than they've sold so far.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, well, anyways,
Hey,
it's well. What do you
they
think?
always, hey, they always have Office 365 to subsidize
There you go. So,
Xbox.
what would you like? What do you think they should do? Because it's E3's always been kind of a media only, and I think what didn't they? I think didn't they add another day here for? I think this year they added the last day was for the public. Do you think it should be more of a public show? Anybody can come and buy tickets like PAX, or do you think it should stay as a media only event, or do you think they need to just maybe say let's do the shows like do the press conferences, but you don't have to have the booth? Um, what do you think the future of E3 should look like?
Man, that's tough because, the purpose of E3 is, I mean, it's kind of like an industry thing, sort of. And okay, so going back years ago, I digress.
Yeah,
Going back years ago, all of this was actually part of CES. And then it was like in the late 90s, they broke off of CES and they created E3. And as luck would have it, that was the year that I went to CES hoping to see all the video games, and there was nothing there. But, so
1995. Yeah, that's when
yeah,
it came
so they
about.
broke off from CES, which is a trade show. And it was really, I mean, it was kind of like an exhibition of what they're going to have coming up in the year. Press was there and industry insiders and stuff like that. And I'm sure there's a lot of stuff that still happens, like behind closed doors. They have meetings and such. But, it was always not for the average Joe.
Right.
And if the average person wants to see this kind of stuff, they have PAX. That's kind of like their thing for that, right?
Yeah.
The PAX East, West, North, South, Northwest, Northeast, whatever, Southwest.
Yeah, but
I'll
you
be
never
ever
know
there,
who's all gonna
Central,
be. But you don't know who's gonna be there either. It's not like E3's cool because it used to be that everybody was there.
because it came from CES. I mean, it had that huge tie-in. And even nowadays, companies skip CES, right?
Well, I think one of my thoughts is so many things have changed. Like I think of years ago, you a trade show like this was important because it would It's how they got the media in to say, "Hey, here's what we're going to be doing the next year. Here, here's what's coming out. Here, go out, tell the world about this to get everybody excited." Well, with the internet, everything's instantaneous. Microsoft doesn't have to spend millions of dollars to go out and tell the media this. They can put it up on their website. They could
Right,
say,
right.
"We're just gonna tell you, we're gonna have Phil stand in his office or sit at." I mean, I'd be just as excited if Phil was sitting at his desk, with the Skype webcam, just recording. Hey, this is what's going on. Throw up some PowerPoints or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't really care about the audience. It doesn't matter. It's just the news. Tell me what's gonna get me excited about your console. I mean, the way the internet is nowadays, everything's more instant, and I think that's really what's causing the change. And I think E3 is gonna have to evolve in some way. What I think would be neat is if E3 could still leave it to the press. I'm fine with that, but it would be neat to find a better way to bring us in. I think people like IGN have done a pretty good job. Microsoft is, they do that. They did their Xbox Daily. Um, it was like a 1 hour show every day of E3. IGN streams all day long, and I think that's good because it brings a lot of viewers in. Um,
Sure.
but I think if more people are going to leave, then like we didn't really get to see much on from EA. We saw that one press conference and that was it. There was nothing else. Where the rest of the time you're hearing other updates on, oh, well, this we didn't have this in the press conference, but here we're showing this, and you see more footage and hear more about some Ubisoft games, and we heard about Bethesda. We learned more things throughout the week about the VR and kind of being able to tie things in. So you lose that ability, I think, if you don't have this show. And I still am excited about E3. So I would love to see EA and Activision come back and be a part of it next year. But I kind of expect that you're going to see them continue to stay out. I don't think Nintendo will show up at all because they really weren't there this time. And I wouldn't be surprised to see Ubisoft step out and do something of their own as well. Because it's almost like, well, we're not going to pay the money to this, organization. We're not going to put
Genius.
all the money in to do this. We're just going to go rent a hall down the street for a heck of a lot less money, do a press conference. We're still going to get covered by IGN and everybody else because they're all here, and we're still going to get talked about, and they're going to save a
Yeah.
ton of money. But pretty soon you're going to basically not have an E3,
Oh yeah, yeah.
So, uh,
And there's a lot of factors as well. Like McCormick Place in Chicago was one of the hottest places to have trade shows for years, and then all of a sudden they get gouged in taxes and fees and everything, and a lot of places just picked up and left.
yeah,
So not only is the venue something that might just be killing the whole experience, but the people running the events and stuff, or it's not worth it.
yeah,
Because in the end, like EA, even if they are there, it's not going to change anything that they're going to do this year, right? They could
right. And
they could put up a YouTube video and get the same thing accomplished. Do they need an audience in a room? No.
no, no,
No.
they
They
don't. Yeah, that's why
no.
I think E3 it needs to probably change. And I think as these companies feel they're spending too much money, they're gonna just we're gonna find a smarter way of doing business, and we can get the word out our own way.
Sure.
You know, but yeah, it'll be
Think about like Microsoft. So they had Phil Spencer and all those dudes, all those other people that were um, inside that big, I don't know, auditorium or whatever
yeah.
it might have been. Why not just have Phil in front of a green screen?
But you know what? I just thought of something. I think
What?
this is why they need E3.
Why?
The hype. You've got no other way to hype up what's coming. I mean, at this time every year, we're all excited to know what's happening. I mean, E3, we're just like, oh, we're predicting, we're talking about for months in advance. We're still talking about it now that it's over. And it's like we are so excited. Everybody wants to tune in, and we're freaking out when we can't find a way to watch that briefing live. We don't even want to watch it replayed. We want to see it live so we know the second it's announced. There's that type of hype for the product. If they don't have that anymore, then you're not going to have however many millions of people tuning in to hear it. You're going to lose that audience. Because now it's like, what are you going to do? How are you going to get that message out? How are you going to get people excited to watch? How are you going to reach all your people to say, hey, Phil Spencer's going to talk about something next year? Do you know what I mean?
Right.
With E3, you've got it's industry wide. You're going to get some pretty cool stuff, no matter who it is. And we had that whole week. You get a whole week it's nothing but games, and it's Sony, it's Microsoft, Nintendo, it's EA, Activision, Ubisoft, whoever else. We're going to see new stuff. We're excited about it. We can't wait. That means a lot, I think. So, but I do think they got to do something to make sure these companies stay a part of it and to understand that we're tuning in and millions of people are going to hear the message that they're sharing. And if Activision, we didn't see nothing. Activision, I guess, all they did was say, we're going to tap into Sony's conference and show Call of Duty, and that's it. I didn't hear anything else about Activision. I don't even know of another Activision game that there is. Well, wait, Skylanders is theirs. There was a real brief thing on that. So, doesn't Activision have more than just Skylanders and Call of Duty?
Yeah.
It's like, this is the big show. Come out, tell us what else is coming. What else do you have out there? I know they own Blizzard. Overwatch. I don't even recall seeing or hearing anything about that at E3. So they could have just done a lot more, and I think had a lot more excitement around Activision. That wasn't even EA at least did a show. Activision's not even talked about. We didn't even discuss Activision. Then we talked about Call of Duty, and that was it. So I think they really lost out on press and getting their name out there.
It's possible.
Because everybody's talking about everything else.
Sure.
So even though EA pulled out, they still did a press conference, and everybody got to see it. And I think they had an event where people got in to play the games. So, they still did something, but it's just, I think if they start pulling out of E3 or disconnecting from that, eventually there's just going to be nothing there. It'll just be a mishmash of people trying to come together. So, I don't know.
Like some of those local shows where it's just basically all the big names aren't there. They're not present. And all you have is a bunch of small studios and such or whatever.
Could happen.
They're just clamoring for attention and nobody wants to listen.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's good on that topic.
Sure.
So, let's see. So let's move into FNL. It's summertime. It's hard to plan these. But if you see, Brun and I tend to play on Friday nights when available. So if you guys look for us, Brun, I think usually gets on around 9 p.m. Eastern time, I think. So let's see, and I think it's like 9 p.m. Eastern time. Usually after that, you can see Brun. You can hit me up usually after 8 p.m. Pacific time on Friday nights. We can play some games. If anybody wants to play anything specific with the community, just post in our Facebook group, and we will certainly plan to do that. You can reach us by going to our website, thisxboxlife.com. You can send us a voicemail by clicking the send voicemail box on the right-hand side. Send us a voicemail. Be sure to give us your gamer tag, and we will play that in the next show. Email us, contact@thisxboxlife.com. You can also follow us on Twitter. And like I said, I mentioned our Facebook group. This is where the action happens. So facebook.com/groups/this Xbox Life. We've actually had a lot of people join this week.
Oh, yeah.
So welcome to all the new people out there. Dude, I was laughing. I'm going to give his gamer tag out. There's a guy who was like, he's like, my gamer tag is Greasy Sandwich.
Nice.
So I'm like, that is a cool gamer tag. Greasy Sandwich.
Love it.
I love it. So yeah, we got new faces coming into the group. So be sure to, if you guys
And
want to
and
play.
what was awesome about that whole thing was every time I saw one of those, like, because we have to approve everybody that comes in there, because of a couple of reasons. But every
Yeah.
time I saw one, I'm like, okay, all right, another spammer. No, whoa, it's legit. All right, cool. Approve.
Sometimes it's tough to tell, man.
Yeah.
I think I denied one the other day, and I'm like, it looks a little fakeish. It's so hard because like if people are private, and you're not a friend with them, then you can't see all the info about them. So then
Well,
it's
if it
like,
was created yesterday,
well,
well,
then
actually,
yeah,
no,
no, yeah.
we
Well,
we
they've been a
can't
member one
we
day.
can't give out our secrets.
No, but I'm
We
just
can't give
saying,
out
it's
our
like some of them are tough to tell. So then you got to roll the dice. But yeah, but definitely join the group. It's closed group, so your boss won't see you posting in a video game group. And you can contact us through Xbox Live if you wish as well. All right, Rob, that's that. So now let's get to it. What's coming out this week that we can play?
All right, another big week coming up. Actually, well, I was going to say for both consoles, but that would not be true. So Xbox One has the Techomancer coming out on the 28th. Also on the 28th, Lego Star Wars: The Force Awakens, and 7 Days to Die. On the 28th, we have Full Mojo Rampage or Moho Rampage. Not sure which way that goes. And then Inside on June 29th. Didn't
That's
they didn't they
that's
show that one at E3?
yeah, isn't that's the one that was made by the guys that did Limbo.
Yes,
This is
that's
gonna
right.
be a huge game,
Yeah,
so
we'll see.
or has a potential.
Yeah, it's very mysterious, which could be good or bad. And then Lost Sea on June 29th and Ethan Meteor Hunter on July 1st. Xbox 360 has Lego Star Wars: The Force Awakens coming out on June 28th. Games with
Well,
Gold.
real quick, don't forget the Division DLC comes out on the 28th as well.
Yes, yes.
Not sure why I missed that on the list. Sorry.
Okay, Games with Gold is going to be switching up on Friday. Yeah, Friday. So you have a couple more days to snag Goat Simulator for Xbox One if
Yeah.
you want. I don't know if you should care or not for that one. But also the
Kids,
crew. What? You can
kids,
say something?
kids love Goat Simulator.
Yes.
It's one of those games like Minecraft. It's like this makes no sense. Why am I
No,
playing it?
no. Minecraft makes a lot more sense than Goat Simulator. Okay, and then the crew. That one came out what about 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago on Games with Gold, but you have until middle of July for that one. On the Xbox 360 side, we have XCOM Enemy Unknown for a couple more days. That one is definitely worth it.
Oh yeah.
Snag that one. And of course, all 360 titles are backwards compatible if they are on Games with Gold. And then also, if you're making any purchase on Amazon.com, please use our affiliate link. That will definitely help the show out because we get a teeny tiny portion of the sale. Does not cost you anything extra, but we get a little finder's fee for sending you their way. And make sure to use that each and every time that you make a purchase on Amazon. We would highly appreciate it. Also, if you're on iTunes and that's how you get your podcasts, please go out there and rate us 5 stars. The more 5 star ratings that we get, the more we will be featured. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah, we'll be featured. Anyway, so that'll help more folks find out about the show. And I believe that's about it.
Alrighty.
You got anything else, Mark?
Nope. Brun's not here, so we had a short show in his honor.
That's right.
Something he always wants, and then he doesn't get. He only gets it when he's not here.
Yes.
See,
Yes.
he would talk for a whole nother hour. Would just be Brun.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
that's what it is.
It's all him.
All right. I don't know when Brun's gonna be back. He's taking a little time off. He might be back next week or not. So, if not, I might try to see if we can get a community member to join us next week as well.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
So if that happens, I'll touch base with Brun this week. If we are looking for someone to join us to replace him for next week, I will put that up in the Facebook group. Let's see who would like to join. All you need is a headset and a mic and Skype. That's it. And a webcam.
Yep.
Is that it?
Yep.
I keep saying that's it, then I keep adding stuff.
Yeah. Just one more.
And then you got to send a check or money order. All right. Well, if that's it, we are out of here. We'll see you guys next week. I am Mark, aka Wingman 709, taking off.
And I'm Rob, also known as Presar. Thanks for listening, everybody. See you all next week.